Content Catchup.
Friends and enemies, welcome back. I feel like I say that every week. Don't I, Barker? We're joined by Michael Barker, everyone.
Similar intro. Hey, everyone. Yeah, good to be back. Thanks for having me, Jules.
That's all right. It's a pleasure to have you. Now, you'll have to forgive us. So my internet is terrible here in Coburg. So, and
it's flooded, isn't it?
The NBN's gone. It's floated,
it's floated
down
away.
So we're doing this. We're recording via Riverside, which is a lovely platform. However, just to make sure things go a bit smoothly, we're actually doing no video or low data mode, which is a little strange because I can't see you, Michael.
It's a bit sad, isn't it?
It's a bit sad, but I guess it's for the good of the show, isn't it?
It is. You put the content catch-up show first, but it is a bit odd just looking at myself. I don't mind it. It's not an ideal situation.
I didn't think. Now, I want to kick this off just with something for me, a little bit of me time. I've got some good news.
Okay. Well, what's happening?
So, after probably like nearly 2 seasons of you giving me shit for my camera always cutting out, this afternoon I'm picking up a webcam.
Oh, congrats. Talk us through it. Webcam's cool again. I thought webcam... we talked about this offline when we finished recording, but there's a bit of... I think people just think webcams are cheap and a bit nasty, but what's the latest? Did you find a good one?
Well, I think so. I did a bit of research and I've gone with the Logitech StreamCam, which...
They're good.
It seems good, but I don't know. It does like that 1080p shit. I don't know what that means.
1080p shit. Yeah, well done. That's a correct term.
So I found one on... So brand new, they're about... I think 180 to 200, somewhere in that range. Found one on Marketplace for $80, brand new, sealed. So I'm going to go pick it up this arvo.
Nice. So you're going to the individual's house?
I'm going to message them and they're going to determine a drop-off point. It's all
Isn't Marketplace a funny thing to do? I remember dropping off something. It was like my old Xbox with a bunch of games at like a rogue petrol station to this like mother, like obviously for her kids. It just felt so dodgy once.
It does feel dodgy, but I also would prefer to meet up at like some random place rather than go to this person's house and maybe not make it back alive. I'll take the lovely Marnie Olsen-Young with me just for support, but
extra protection.
I feel like if shit goes down, she's not going to be very helpful.
No, I think I don't know, is it appropriate to say she's got a nasty side?
Little scrapper?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I can imagine a bit. That's a compliment, Marnes, if you're listening. That's good news for the listeners and for me, I think. Instead of staring at this blank screen, it's just me next to it. Hopefully we'll have a nice, crisp Logitech camera from you next week.
We'll see how we go, and that means no more getting up halfway through the show and having to adjust the camera. So,
and
maybe I'll be in focus for once.
I think it's got all-round positives, so that's great news.
But yeah, that's about it from me, Barks. How are you going?
I'm going well. I'm tested negative Friday, which was just amazing. We didn't quite get the 10 likes on the tweet of the new episode, and just to refresh you, if we did get 10 likes, that means I was kicking Elise, lovely fiance. I don't usually use that term, fiance. Nice accent. She was going to go on the couch. So I slept on the couch for 10 nights or something. So, I mean, I'm a bit of a trooper, but I got through on the other end. Bed was wonderful, and
You're back.
I'm back.
You're back better than ever. Slightly depressing that we didn't get 10 likes on a post, but you can't always win them all, can you?
It's the old thing of like we might get 12 listens to the episode, but put 12 people in a room, Jules. That seems pretty impressive.
Yeah, just
keep your head up.
Keep your head up.
But that's about my week. So back to the office tomorrow. Hopefully see your face and see the team's faces. So, and right in time for the AFL preseason. I know they needed a call up, so I was hoping I'll be healthy for that. So I'll be joining in the boys tomorrow morning.
Oh God, it's first day of preseason. Can't wait to see you rep the 2K time trial. It'll be big.
I think I'll be up there. Do you reckon?
I reckon you might win it. Just
you
on the
would.
back. Me,
you quite literally would.
There's no chance. There's no chance at all.
Enough rubbish. Is there anything else? Any other notes from your week, Jules, or should we get into content?
I don't think there's much else.
Yeah, I could hear you think. I could hear you like tapping and thinking, but I couldn't say anything. I think it dropped out for a second.
Also, I've got a big surprise for you later in the show.
Jeez, you're throwing things at me today. I'm feeling this energy from you.
I have come really well prepared to this one, so
okay.
I've gone away and done something special for you. But let's jump into some content first, shouldn't we?
You're a bit weird.
Oh,
You're
mate.
weird this morning.
I've got this going. All right, I'm jumping in first. I think everyone would have seen this pop up in their feeds over the last couple of days. It's this amazing piece from Ryan Lin Design, this animation for illustration and animation for the Eagles v. the Colts in the NFL. Have a look at this. How cool is this?
Wow.
So
this is it's like a frame by frame thing.
It'd be like, it's the old style. How do I explain this? So this is what they like, an anime style animation, I guess. For those just listening, it's a player in a like a Indy 500 car, like a F1 car. Eagles flying over the top, and they're going down a racetrack that looks like a football field. It's like this anime style animation. So, Bucks, it's not like frame by frame. What they do is they just draw elements and they kind of just make them move to give it that sense of motion. Impressive. Yeah. It's super, super cool. It's like, this is one of the best game day graphics I've ever seen in my life. Like,
it's game day. I didn't.
Yeah.
Well, obviously that else would be. That's good. That's really clever. Wonder if they're going to hold themselves to something that impressive every game day.
Yeah. Well, I don't even know if like the Eagles commissioned this or they or that they've just like
this guy's gone out and
done it on his own. Yeah.
I really like that though. Like it's sort of a win-win for both situations. If you can get a free, from a team's perspective, a free amazing animation, and then on the other end of the freelancer's perspective, to have a massive club post it and hopefully credit them, it's a win-win. I like it.
What are your thoughts on clubs using freelancers as part of their like game day, or like you've obviously got team designers? What are your thoughts on like going external and finding someone with like these specialties?
I love it. I don't really see a negative. Like if you don't have people on the team that, and if you don't have the people on the team maybe necessarily with this skill set, maybe they could use it as like an opportunity for those people to learn it from this person, for example. So I think you can like go about it in different ways. I don't really see any negatives though. Are there any?
I don't think so. Like, I used to think that it was a bit of a negative. However, like, you're right. Like,
in what sense?
Okay, so like, I'll probably put it this way: for stuff like this, which is really niche, like animation, illustration, maybe even like some 3D stuff. You know how people are like, that's an expertise. I have no issue going out and like getting a freelancer to do it. Like whatever it might be. Like if you were to go and approach this Ryan Lin guy and be like, I would love something like this. However, if it's just like standard graphics, I feel like that's a bit of a cop out.
Okay. Yeah. So you're not going to get like a freelance video producer to do something I could do because it's a bit odd.
Correct.
Yeah. No, that's fair enough. I think the niche animation, the animation side of it, because there's the real experts of the animation, isn't there? Like you wouldn't expect the standard graphic designer or video producer to be able to produce that quality. So I think that's agreed.
I think that's my point. But like, love to see more clubs do stuff like that. And really, it all comes down to planning, doesn't it? Like you've got to really have an eye for what's coming up and what you want to achieve. Yeah,
I think like the big like round one, first games of the season, that type of stuff is a great. Gee, I hope this isn't your Instagram, Jules, because you're going nuts on your notifications.
No, sorry, I'm logged into the Carlton one.
Good stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, anyway, this is my second one, and it kind of like builds into that, what we were talking about last week about like easy but clever content. 7 AFL broadcaster of the Australian Football League have just put this like little post together in a B-reel style. Obviously not actual B-reels, but they've matched like specific moments from the year with like reactions from the crowd or players or whatever it might be. Again, it's just like, It's
really
just kind of
wholesome during the week.
Yeah. It's just not, this one's my favourite, Nathan Buckley and Robbo, the journalist. Again, not difficult content, just a smart use of like, I don't know, just smart content.
Current trends.
Yeah.
And
not
as
hard,
we
not
spoke
flashy.
about and it relates to what your example last week, evergreen content, it's the hardest stuff to do, but that's what during the week it's such an easy thing to do, but and to have like the screenshots of the low quality stuff as well, like it's not the produced, like it feels like the B-roll phone examples. So I enjoy that during the week.
Yeah. That's probably about it for content for me, Michael Barker. Should we jump into yours?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do something a bit better than yours. No, I've got a few bits. So we'll start off with our great friend David Sosner. For those that don't remember, we've talked about him a couple of times. He's a video producer / content wizard. I'll just say, because he's very impressive what he does. I think when we first talked about him, he was with the Cleveland Cavaliers in the NBA. Now he's with the Phoenix Suns. So jump ship. But during the week, Jules, he's not only is he great at what he does, but he's great at sort of trying to help young creatives and the industry as a whole. So I think at the end of past seasons, we've got questions from people sort of asking for tips to get in the industry. And we'll focus about tips to get into the club land, not the industry as a whole. But so David during the week gave a bit of a thread, 5 tips to his best advice to give to young creatives, as he's tweeted. And he's worked with the NFL and NBA, so it relates to Australia, AFL, NRL, what have you. So we'll just quickly go down the list of advice from David. We don't really need to get anyone's, well, you can give me your opinion as we go, but I just thought it was worthwhile reading out to our listeners because it's something we've talked about in the past. So first tip, clout does not equal talent. In brackets, he could write a book on this alone, but overall just keep creating work you love and the right people will see it at the right time. Number 2, be a good person. I unfortunately have to say this one, but one negative experience can ruin job opportunities that you might never even hear about.
That's
Number
a good
3,
one. I like that one, but we'll come back to it.
Yeah. Number 3, I really like this one too. The grind isn't real. So this is something that it's probably just known about, I guess, the AFL world as well, that people really sort of have to churn out work and people often burn out. So point number 3 is the grind isn't real. At some point, we have to realize that working 15 hours a day isn't glorifying and it might just be terrible planning. And as I love my organization and sort of planning, and I love that point. Number 4, your health is the most important thing. Take it more seriously than your work. Great. Love it. Number 5, learn more. I see photographers that refuse to do video and vice versa. The more you learn, the more it will help you in the job search. And number 6, sorry, I said 5, you got 6. 6, lastly, creative is subjective. Have fun with the process and never get away from creating the things that you love. The goal is sustainable. The goal is sustainable income with something you love, not fame. Bit of good insight.
Interesting last one.
Yeah. What?
The goal is sustainable income with something you love, not fame.
I think some people try to, I focus too much on.
Yeah, I think so. I think there's a fine line.
Yeah,
and yeah, I mean, I'm all for people promoting and sharing their work. I do it myself. You do it, but at what point? Yeah, like as long as you recognize that you are just one part of a whole team, like working towards something. I think it's not about individual success or whatever it might be.
I find that one difficult though, because you sort of have to be in the individual's brain as to why they're sort of posting about themselves. Like the other side of it is that it's obviously you're sort of just, what's that saying? Like you're just a
custodian,
or like the cog in the.
You're
like you're part of a bigger machine, and I love people sort of saying, "Hey, like I did this." Like yes, a part of a team, but sort of just showcasing yourself. And also, you could relate things to like it's not the biggest paid industry. You're probably just not getting the recognition that some might feel you deserve. So there's 2 sides of it, but I do agree. It depends why you're posting about yourself and why you're posting your own work.
Yeah, and I also think The number 4, the health is your most important thing. I agree. Like, and that's not just physical health; that's mental health of like how much time you're putting into things, and like what you're doing away from your job to make sure you do stay fresh, because it also leads into that like creativity is subjectivity, and it should be fun. Like,
I agree, and it sort of lends itself to number 3 about the grind isn't real, because I think that was one of my favorite, because it's like we all just accept that people do these massive days and massive amount of hours, and it's sort of just like, oh, that's part of working in the business. But he's trying to point out that there comes a point that let's stop celebrating that. Like, we have to try to change it.
See, like I feel like maybe what he's getting at, and correct me if I'm wrong, is like you still grind, right? But like it's not grinding for 15 hours a day. Like you're working hard, and you should be working hard to be in this industry. Like, you shouldn't just be taking it for granted, because you're getting. It does sound like it is a job. Like that's fine, but it's a job that you're kind of lucky to have found. Like you earned it, but you got to work to keep it, and work to like keep getting better at it.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's not saying it's not about hard work. It's just how you work hard in a sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, we can put that. We can link that in our socials, or I think I even retweeted during the week, so that's on our socials. But just a really good list of advice from the man himself, David Sosner. So that was the first bit of content. The second is just a really important one that I wanted to touch on during the week. I'd be surprised if you didn't see this, because it quite literally went globally. But Melbourne United player Isaac Humphrey. So he, during the week, became the first, I think this is right, the first male professional basketball player to come out as gay.
Yep.
And I think it's not really like content, but it's just sort of cool to see how content can help it. So I've linked the video, Jules, but we probably don't need to. I mean, we can watch it in our own time, or maybe even link.
I'll chuck a little bit of the sound into the show. You're right, though. I think most people would have seen this by now. You're right. It's not like they haven't done anything fancy with it, but they've really understood the moment and what it means. I just like good on him for being so. It shouldn't be this, but like it shouldn't be this big thing.
Yeah.
But good on him for being so brave to like come out and do this so publicly.
Yeah, that's what I've heard, and myself, I've thought this as well. But there's sort of different layers to this, because it'd be great if it wasn't even a thing for this to be a big. You can see how many people it's reached by even the Twitter world, but yeah, multiple layers to this. Firstly, like it also sadly, like it relates to mental health of people, and that he even at one point tried to take his own life because he just wasn't comfortable and struggling with who he was. And I think it also lends itself to the relationship with the video team or the content team and the professional, like the coaches and the actual basketball team. Like that doesn't happen without that relationship and trust between the content team and the actual coaches and players and everything. So I think that's really important. Like, could you imagine if, for example, that relationship wasn't there with Isaac or the coaches and there's no video element? Like, imagine going out with an article and it's just not as impactful to so many people.
Yeah. The action of him telling the group as well is like, and probably like some of his teammates would have already known, right? Like it shouldn't be a shock, but it's just so raw. Like it's just really, really cool. And I saw like some really famous people retweeted, like the NBA retweeted it, and that journalist Adrian Woj. So it's got cut through and like really well done by the Melbourne United team. Good job by Tom and Laura, I think, over there.
Yeah, good call. And I think there's probably another video person. I'm not sure who their name is, but really well spoken by Isaac too. Like, how about that? Like, just to focus on actually the confidence to do that. Like, that'd be so intimidating. But any more from you on that? I think it's just important that we touched on it.
No, I think it's just really nice, and like hopefully it does give the confidence to those other athletes around the world that like it's fine. Like, it's not a thing that you should have to worry about anymore.
No, exactly right. And my last thought on this is it's sort of like my brain went to imagine the amount of people sort of struggling, whether you athletes or lower level athletes that don't have like the support of a whole media team to come out with this. Like, I don't know, like my brain went to that. Like, it's sort of sad in a way. Like, he fortunately had like the support around him, but I wonder how many sort of lower level athletes don't have that whole digital team to help him or help her or help them with that. It's an interesting one, but
and help get the messaging right and like protect you a little bit as well. Yeah,
protection. Yeah, it's a good point. This one, last example of the week, Jules. You don't need to share the screen, but you can have a quick look yourself if you want. But, really interesting video series from the NBL teams, Illawarra Hawks and Sydney Kings. So they're in quotation mark rival teams. Sorry, so they're both in Sydney. But they've done a combined video series. So two digital teams working together to, I think there's multiple episodes using our favourite collaboration feature on Instagram. But I just thought this was... they obviously, the Hawks accepted this from the Kings. So that's nice of them. But no, I just thought it was really interesting that two teams have gone out of their way to produce a mini documentary series together. I haven't seen that before.
Very different, isn't it? I wonder how it works. I
don't know. Good relationships, I guess, and helps that a few former players played for both. So this guy on screen, he formerly played for the Illawarra Hawks, so it's sort of like crossing over between same talent.
You'd have to really, you'd have to get together and plan out like precisely the messaging that you'd want to be present in this, wouldn't you? Like, you wouldn't be able to just go.
And how it positively affects both clubs. It's not just focusing on Carlton. It's like, oh shit, so how do we make sure this comes across right for them as well? But I just thought I haven't taken the time to properly watch episode 1, but thought it was worth touching on. Probably would have helped to watch it, to be honest. But
that's all right. Maybe you can watch it this week and you can give us a report on it next week.
Thanks, Jules.
Yeah, that's all right.
I may well do that. Sorry, that was me. 3 bits of examples, but done.
That's good, mate. Another week sitting on your ass. Another 3 bits of content. That's good by you.
It relates, doesn't it?
Should we jump into one of our favourite segments, Michael Barker?
I'd love nothing more.
Let's go to Egg of the Week. Now, you're kicking this off for us. What have you brought to the table?
This one is funny. This one is a great, really, really good egg. Someone else, I didn't find it, so it came up on my feed. But so someone, ESPN Australia posted this, that the caption is point of view UFC cameraman's first day on the job, and basically it's just that front-on view of this fighter walking out to his fight, and then the camera person has clearly got the wrong, they don't know who they're filming. They're not filming their fighter. They're actually filming one of the trainers at the back, and the trainer just points like, it's not me. I'm not the fighter. It's him. It's just a great 5-second video.
Oh dear. How embarrassing. Oh, you can see that might happen. Like, the guy behind him is also doing the sign of the cross. He's got his hands wrapped and shit.
Yeah, it looks serious. I just had a laugh.
1 sec. Camera's gone. Last time this is going to happen. Okay, we're back.
That's my egg, Jules. Just had a bit of a giggle during the week of that.
Love it. Short and sweet. I've got one that's going to make you uncomfortable.
Okay.
Let's have a look, eh?
This is going.
So this is from the Guardian Australia. The France mascot for the Olympics has been announced. And the immediate feedback is that it looks like, and I quote, a giant clitoris in trainers.
Wow, that's something. not a word I'd ever thought would come across this pod.
Yeah. Thoughts? You maybe
odd.
Yeah, you can see it, can't
not
you?
Blushing a little. Yeah, a bit odd. Don't really know what to say. Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Bit strange. I'm not sure. So the explanation is it's some hat that is from the French Revolution, right? But it does have some resemblance to ye olde clitoris.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? I'm just wondering that in the early sketches, obviously concept drawing and showing the team what people. So you actually cut out. What is it actually meant to be? A hat?
A hat, yeah. So the Phryges, Phryges, were unveiled for the Olympics and Paralympic Games. They were presented as the shape of a Phrygian cap, the floppy conical hat associated with the French Revolution. But yes, you're right.
Okay. Yeah. Great for you. Sure.
That's my egg, France.
Thanks for that.
Perhaps like do some anatomy practice. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe their high school sex education wasn't up to scratch. Who knows?
Yeah. That's it for me for eggs.
Great. Like that from you. Different. Very different. Let's get on to some bosses, shall we? I've got a bit of an onslaught, so I'd like you to go first, please.
Okay, you want me to go first? Shit, I just
why not?
Mine's short and sweet. Caught this on the weekend. Something from Bleacher Report. This guy has taken a girl to a game, and he's flexing with his Costco membership.
What's that, like a rewards thing?
Yeah, so Costco's like that wholesaler, and you have to have a membership to go and shop there. And like, to his credit, she looks genuinely impressed. So maybe this is like
maybe it's worth or something.
Yeah, I say, boss, like flex where you can, my boy.
I like boss. Yeah,
that's like $60 a year. I can get wholesale prices. I can get you bulk vodka. I can get like eggs, tuna, and yeah, you come with me. We'll go to Costco. We'll have a $1 slice of pizza and have a nice time.
That's a realistic approach of like what would help day-to-day life in a relationship.
Yeah.
You could, so it'd be like if me just flashing the Woolies,
the rewards card. Yeah, it'd be like,
Flybars or something.
I got points.
That's good. That's good stuff for you.
I've got jump into yours.
I've got a few. First one, so the Melbourne Storm went out. I'm pretty sure this is vision of the actual player at his wedding, but the vision, I don't know nothing about the Melbourne Storm in the NRL, but there's a player that I assume is coming back from injury, and it's his first time running, and they've done a quick reel where they've shown, I'm pretty sure it's actually the actual player himself at his wedding turning around and crying, because I was looking at this video over and over again. And they do look too similar to be. So let's just assume it's a snippet from this player's wedding where he's turning around and crying at what I assume is his wife walking down the aisle, and then it flashes to himself running on the oval. Just quick boss. Great content.
That's a great one. Might have to get Bray to confirm that one.
Yes, our boy Bray that we'll hopefully talk to soon. Just a bit of a sneak preview to you listeners. Next one, bit of sound. Jules, you can listen to it on yourself, but I'll explain it and we can put it in the pod. But real stupid content from probably someone you know more than me, but NFL Ravens player Justin Tucker walks on stage at a press conference, and that stupid saying of he walks on the stage, and I'm just trying to remember this without sound, but he just says to the press, he's like, "You smell that? That's up dog. That's up dog." And then some player says, "What's up, dog?" And you don't know much yourself, and then he just carries on with his preference. It's just completely stupid, but I love it. That's my sense of humor. Yeah.
That's good.
Had to put it in there.
I like that.
The third one relates to, I think, what's going to be your controversial call, but Twitter.
Jesus Christ, is this going to open or not?
What's happening there?
I don't know.
Twitter, obviously now, so you got to pay for blue ticks, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Tom Thibodeau, why have I forgotten how to... I'm the NBA expert here. Anyway, the New York Knicks coach... why have I forgotten how to pronounce that? Thibodeau? I don't know. The New York Knicks coach, there's a... I'm going to egg myself for that one. I should know that. But anyway, this fan has gone over way
You've
to
really
pay for
thrown yourself here, haven't you?
I haven't.
You've lost it.
Hang on, Tom Thibodeau. I think it's Thibs. Like, it's because they call him Thibs. Like, maybe it's Thibodeau then. Anyway, say that 10 times.
Oh, God.
Anyway, a fan is paid to have a blue tick to basically pretend to be the New York Knicks head coach, Tom Thibodeau. And I just found it really funny. Like, it's probably only the people that are into the NBA, but if you scroll their profile, it's just some really silly tweets about, it's like the cross of like, he knows his Knicks stuff, but then it's like also from a fan's perspective of what people actually think about, players. But anyway, my boss is basically paying, because you've got to pay for this account now to have a blue tick. It seems real, and I just love. I know I know Twitter might die, but peak Twitter stuff from someone who loves their NBA. So
it's a commitment to pay $12 a month to run a parody account, isn't it?
Exactly right, and that's the boss. So you summarised it well.
Very good. That's again a lot from you. You should bloody on. We've got to stop. And got to give you more COVID more often, don't we?
I'd rather not. Thanks, though. Thanks for your care.
Now, before we go to our controversial call,
is this my surprise?
This is your surprise, Michael Barker, and I've got to put a shout out to a friend of the show. Has it uploaded? Oh, maybe not. Fuck, I might just have to send this to you via Messenger for you to watch, and then I'll drop the audio in into the show.
But, where am I going, Teams?
I'll send it to you on your phone. Just have a look. On the back of our discussion last week around, and I haven't watched this yet either. It's hot off the press. I wasn't sure it was going to come through for the show. On the back of our discussion last week about mascots, I went to friend of the show, Basil Zakali, who was formerly the Essendon Football Club mascot, and asked him to record some answers to some questions about the state of mascots in Australia. Wow. And I thought, could have a watch, have a listen, and we'll discuss. So let me know when you've got the video, and we'll watch at the same time and kind of then come back and have a chat about it.
Okay, why don't I play it to my mic, and then you don't have to sub in the audio?
Yeah, it sounds good, doesn't it?
Okay, I've got it here, so I'm going to press play. So,
g'day, boys. First time caller, long time listener. Been waiting for this moment to get a call up, I guess, to do something. It's been a while. I've spent hard-earned money on you guys to get a t-shirt and some merch, and still never got a call up for anything. But, I get this one from Jules while he's at a concert about asking about mascots and why the salary difference is from Australia to the US, and he wanted the knowledge of a former mascot, so I thought I'd give it to you. But, yeah, I think I listened to the episode that you guys were talking about the NBA mascots, and I think it was Benny the Bull, and it might have been the Denver Nuggets mascot earning over $500,000. And I guess why it hasn't taken off in Australia. But being in the mascot scene, I think there's a lot of things that need to take into account. A mascot role in Australia, generally speaking, is a casual role. You get called up to do kinders, events, to turn up, some training sessions, and then obviously home and away, Melbourne, or state game days, wherever you're located. And in saying that, despite it being a casual role, I worked out, I was very fortunate that my manager at the time was from the US, had a big belief about mascots being bigger, even let me get a t-shirt gun. I was never allowed to use it. But yeah, I was on pretty good money while I was at uni, while doing it on a casual rate. The hourly rate was really, really good. And if I worked on a full-time salary, I guess, or full-time hours, with that hourly rate, it would have been, in the middle six figures. So it wasn't a bad job. I guess the difference between us and the NBA is the NBA has 86 games or something like that throughout the season. That's why they probably earn so much money. Compared to the NFL mascots, they're only earning on average, I think it was $50K or something like that. They play about 17 games, sort of like the AFL. What I think is happening with, the higher paying mascots is I definitely believe there's more than one person in that suit. It would be such a tough job to do, a continuous job. And definitely, when you see their stunts and skits that they do, you can sort of tell that it isn't the same person, whether there's one that's a clear dancer, one that's a clear stunt performer, and one that's a clear popcorn thrower, as Benny is. There's definitely some different type of people that are in there to make it obviously work. And I think that's the beauty of that sort of job, is that no one knows who's behind the mask. So, I guess if the AFL was to ever earn as much money as the NBA did, then yeah, maybe that some people would be able to earn a bit more coin being a mascot. But, when you're looking at it from the NBA's perspective, especially those two who are on the higher pay ends, I mean, they're earning more than some of the majority. Sorry, they're earning more than majority of the AFL players. So it's a bit ridiculous to consider a Skeeter, for example, to be walking around with 500k in his back pocket, running around the MCG on Anzac Day. But that's my point, and hopefully next time I get a question about something that I'm more capable of working in. Cheers, lads.
That's unreal insight and access from you, Jules. I'll applaud that effort from you. That's really good, Basil. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Baz. Last minute notice as well. Like, I really got him at a good time.
That's elite, though. That's really interesting. And I guess that does make sense if there'd be multiple people behind it. I like his analysis of if you actually look at what they're doing, you can tell it's different people. That's a keen mascot eye from Baz.
Yeah. But yeah, maybe that's the key, like a full-time role via a casual role. We're not just talking about the money, but like the acceptance. Like if you're trying to build a strategy around a mascot or like something like that, and you only have them coming in once a week or just on a game day.
It's like a consistency element, is what you're talking. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, true. I mean, I wonder if we could ever get to that point where someone's so invested from the marketing side of things that they think they could help. Oh, I could help a club full time. Like that'd be interesting. I wouldn't know, but
I don't know. I don't know if it's needed, but like, yeah, it's definitely interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like the luxury of we always sort of, I guess, like the American landscape probably gives them a luxury too, because there's so many people involved in such a massive giant. Like they probably get the luxury to do things and focus on things like mascots a lot more.
Yeah, and like you're right. Like Baz said, like 80 games a year. You got to keep something. You got to have something else to entertain people rather than just the sport. I guess like it sounds like the sport should be enough, right? But like, what's going to get your kid over the line to actually come down or like?
Yeah, exactly.
Actually want to go to a game, or is there something for them to do? I don't know if it's a full-time investment, but maybe more than just a casual thing.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
What does Baz do now that he'd like to talk about?
So
clearly there's a bit of it's not just a mascot.
No, Basil now works social media for Disney. So probably an interesting chat. One day we could probably get him on for sure.
That's interesting.
Just did this really cool launch with the new Black Panther movie, Wakanda Forever.
Forever. Yeah.
Yeah. And this artist, this really great Melbourne-based artist who does these incredible Indigenous artwork like murals. Adnate, I think they are.
Okay.
It would be a worthwhile chat. Maybe we should get him on the show.
I think that sounds something like one of our hosts should probably orchestrate if he's got a relationship. But yeah.
Oh, mate. How's this? Fuck you. I was at a concert and it came into my head and I'm like, nah, fuck this. I'll give him a message. I'm standing there in the middle of a concert, sweating my balls off, getting pushed left, right, and center. And you still have the fucking audacity to say maybe you should piss off, Barker.
I mean, it's not my decision for you to do it at a concert.
That's how committed I am to this show, friends and enemies.
Or poor time management. It's about time we stop glorifying the grind, Jules.
Or it just shows how bad my ADHD is that I can sit in the middle of a concert and actually start thinking about something else. But anyway.
Oh, shit. I'm not like I'm busy doing anything. What about the pod next week? I like the phone edition though.
Yeah.
Maybe we can try to make a point to surprise each other with when we bring content, bring in our experts.
I think just like a little like if we talk about something one week and we don't want a whole show on it, I don't think it hurts.
Yeah.
We'll post that full video on our feed this week. I think you'll enjoy it. Basil's a really good guy. He worked hard as a mascot and then went and was Essendon's social media manager as well for a bit. So he's got his experience.
That's an upgrade and a half. Nothing against mascots, but
yeah, it was. Probably the pay wasn't, by the sounds of it. But
how's the casual life? I was
100K.
full-time hours. Yeah, middle triple six figure. Yeah.
Bucks, I'm telling you and I learned how to do a couple of backflips and we're in.
Yeah, we've been focusing the wrong thing, like you said. Maybe we should take classes and film it.
Dance.
Make some content for our YouTube, just backflip classes, gymnastics.
Yeah. Anyway, let's jump on to what's becoming one of our favourite segments, Barks, the controversial call.
Let's do it. I don't have one, so I want to hear what you've got for me.
Now, I'm going to do a massive backflip talking about them. Last week I said
UE.
delete Twitter. Nah, I'm back on it. I love Elon.
Jeez, way to stick with your opinion and stick solid.
Fuck, Elon is like providing me so much. I do feel bad for all the people that are losing their jobs. Sorry, this is controversial call. Like, I do understand that there's a lot going on, but fuck me, he's just a clown, and I am enjoying every second of the Twitter being like now the most talked about social media platform in the world.
Is it all just a big ploy?
I reckon it might be. This guy is like so nuts that it might actually be the most genius thing he's ever done to drive the value of Twitter up or down so he could get rid of it. I don't know. It's
a really good point, because I've obviously seen people talking about it nonstop on this last tweet. You've even seen sporting clubs go into it, like while Twitter's around, here's something that would normally post, which is fun. But it reminds me of like I don't know how much you paid attention to the LeVar Ball, like when he was at his peak of like taking the piss out of his sons in the NBA. Yeah. Like it's all just marketing.
Oh, 100%. Like this guy is clearly deranged, right? But what he's doing might actually work.
We just don't know what he's trying to do.
We just don't know what he's trying to do.
I rate it from you. I'm not going to argue because I sort of see where you're going with it.
Yeah. That's me, I think. I for one, welcome our new overlord, Elon.
So your call is I love Elon, just for people that didn't see that.
Yeah, I'm back on him. I might go buy a Tesla.
Wow, okay. Well, I mean, if you can afford that, I'll have one too, thanks.
But that's it for me. That's all I got.
Great. That was good. That's episode 6, friends and enemies. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks to Basil once again. We'll do one final shout out because we appreciate that message and the effort from you, Jules. I hope you enjoyed your concert.
It was a great concert. Thank you.
Who was it? Probably I'm not cool enough to know.
It was Sly Withers. Finally bought a band T-shirt for the first time in ages, but one of my favourite bands. Band T-shirts are cool now. Yeah, one of my favourite bands at the moment. So it was a great concert down in Northcote.
Nice.
Not too far away either. Yeah.
And you say you haven't bought a band T-shirt for ages, but you just filmed 2 weeks ago on a Nirvana T-shirt.
Yeah, but I hadn't bought that one in a while. That was like that was an old one I just found. Funnily enough,
that's fair enough.
If you want a little funny story to finish off on the show, that Nirvana T-shirt, I have had that since like, I don't know, since I lived at home with mum and dad, probably like year 9 or 10. Still fits, which goes to show like this physique, baby, it doesn't go anywhere.
Just on your physique, I remember literally the very first thing I remember from you from studying at Carlton is you made some sarcastic comment about your body being a temple, and I'm like, who is this wanker? This wanker ended up being Julian Wallace.
My body is a temple, everyone.
Has it changed since that T-shirt?
Year 10. You bought the T-shirt. I've maintained the same 16-year-old physique.
That's not. It's like you're trying to brag, but it's a bit weird.
Anyway, so I've had this T-shirt for ages. Someone bought it for me as like a Christmas present. Great Nirvana T-shirt, big Nirvana fan. But on the back, it's got like some swear words on it. And Mum wasn't a big fan of me wearing it back in the day, and probably still would cringe if I wore it to their house. So for about 10 years, she hid it from me. So I actually never got to wear it. And then when I moved out, she's like, "Oh, by the way, I've hidden this for like the last 10 years." So like, fuck, Mum, I thought I lost it. Like I've been looking for that T-shirt for 10 years.
Miriam. Yeah, I like that.
Confiscated it and gave it back.
That's good. I was going to say, as long as it didn't have the word clitoris on the back of it, then it'll be fine. As long as it doesn't go that far.
Clitoris isn't a bad word. It just makes you feel a bit uncomfortable, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's just not a word you'd hear very often, let alone on
a normal conversation.
G-rated
anyway.
podcast.
That's just not a G-rated podcast. But yeah, I thought there's your funny Miriam story for the week. I'm sure I could think of some more.
Good from you, Miriam. Trying to bring more Miriam content to the show. I think she'd be a funny lady.
Maybe should get her on the show. Maybe I'll get her to record a message for this next week.
Yeah, okay. I like that. Let's bring a message. New
message
segment.
from Mum.
Message from Mum.
Yeah.
Maybe she can do birthday. Can she do her birthday messages for players? There's a niche reference. Dude,
Mum
listening
loves
to all
birthdays,
episodes.
actually.
Anyway, we're rambling. Thanks for listening, everyone. As usual, watch us, because I didn't get to see Jules. Jules didn't get to see me on YouTube. And socials, you'll find we're trying to do more snippets, etc., because Riverside makes it easy, baby. So thanks, Riverside. Thanks, Jules. Any final touches from yourself?
I thought I'd put on the camera so we can see each other for the farewell.
I actually can't see. You're a black screen.
God, I'm a black screen. Fuck.
So as long as it works in the final export,
we'll be fine.
Catch us next week. If you've got any guest suggestions, we mentioned our good friend Bray. Hoping to speak to him because he's fresh. Well, I think he's just ticked over 6 months at Melbourne Storm, so it'd be a good, interesting chat. I think Jules, from someone who's not in Clubland to someone who's now in Clubland. So that's one name we're looking at. If you've got any other, I don't know, mascots, whatever it might be, let us know. Thanks for listening. Thanks, Jules. Have a great Sunday, and I will see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.